questions, a round of reactions. We are ready to learn. We are ready for what is ahead. Yes, yes. So we have very seasoned speakers for tonight. I'll be introducing them one after the other for their various presentations. We have our first speaker for tonight, who is Mr. Solomon. He is a registered nurse and an aspiring health and safety professional with experience in public health, particularly in infectious disease management and emergency nursing. He's currently working at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and is the founder of KS Health and Safety Consult, where he leads initiatives to promote workplace health, safety, and community wellness. He is passionate about health leadership, digital health, and empowering underserved communities through strategic interventions and education. He is excited to share his knowledge on what Shisha is. And so, with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Solomon Apam to the podium.
Hi, good evening, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for the opportunity. Um, Before I start, I'd like to use the opportunity to say thank you to RTC, our president, Dr. Benedict, for such an opportunity. I mean, to have the idea of bringing health professionals together to champion health and help improve healthy lives and individuals is a great opportunity. So it's a privilege to be part of something like this and to also share my voice in impacting life. So thank you for the opportunity. All right. So I think we'll, since the main meal is served, we'll just dive in and then feast. Okay. So tonight we'll be talking on something important. We'll be sharing on something which is very common in our environment these days. In our communities, it's a norm now. People, I mean, expand is the vibe, is the current vibe. You feel the vibe. If you feel the vibe, let me see your reaction. So, as you all know, there's a vibe, and when there's a vibe, people feel the vibe. So, the current vibe now in our communities, in our environment, in social gatherings, is shisha, smoking shisha. And myself, I mean, the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, what is this? So we'll be diving in and looking at what shisha is and um, its dangers to us. Now, someone will say that smoking shisha is safer than smoking cigarettes. Yeah, I usually get that. I usually get that a lot. And that's even people's like, but this is just something nice. You just take a puff and then you blow out the smoke. It doesn't really do anything. Now, what is actually shisha? So let's look at what shisha is. You know, so as some will call it, some call it the hookah. And what does it? So shisha is it's a new. I'll say it's a new innovation of smoking. It's a new innovation or a new innovation to smoking. So instead of you holding the weed or smoking cigarettes, people now use innovative ways to smoke, and that is how shisha came about. And shisha used to be, or shisha originated from the Middle East and Asia. Shisha originated from the Middle East and Asia. Um, I, Dr. Enyonam, if you are if you can move the slides so that we can, I mean, the audience can follow suit. Sorry. So let's look at what is Shisha so that we can. Hello, hello, Dr. Enyonam, can you hear me? Okay, let me continue then. So that's what I was saying
Yes,
earlier
I'm
on.
here. I'm wondering whether you can see
Okay,
the
okay.
slide because
Yes, I
I'm
can see them. I
changing
can see
it.
them. Yes, it's just
Can you
yes.
see my
So
slide?
yes, yes, I can
Okay.
see them. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
All right. So as I was saying earlier on, shisha is like an innovative way of smoking now, and then it's made up of tobacco, mainly tobacco, glycerin, and then nicotine. This is what the composition of shisha is made up of. And shisha originated from the Middle East and Asia before it became popular in Africa. And before I go on, but the first time I personally saw shisha was in the garden. Not to I mean say something bad about a religious body or something, but the first time I saw it was with my Muslim friends. So it was I think one of the Salah days, and then I saw them and I was like, "What is this?" And I said, "Oh, this is shisha. This is what we do with it." And they explained to me. Then I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." Because I mean, it's quite it's attractive when you see how it's made up in the glass jar and all the seeds and everything. It may looks attractive, and also because of how it is flavored, you know, with people can flavor it with strawberry flavor. You can have vanilla flavor, different type of flavors. So it makes it attractive and appealing, and can be very very tempting sometimes. If you are not a real smoker and then you see this for the first time, you will see it as an alternative to smoking weed and cigarette. And since it has a vibe, it's easy to flow along with the vibe. So as I said earlier, shisha origins from the Middle East and Asia, and nicotine, glycerin, and tobacco are the main composites. Now let's look at what nicotine and tobacco is, or what does nicotine and tobacco do to our health. So to be sure of what shisha is, you look at tobacco, and tobacco is known to be one of the causes of cancer in terms of respiratory cancer, such as um, oral cancer. We talk about gum issues, tooth decay, um, lung cancer. These are common causes or common side effects of tobacco. So when you are taking something that has tobacco in it, this is what you are exposing yourself with. You are exposing yourself to lung cancer or different types of respiratory conditions as well. And you are also exposing yourself to oral issues, oral damages, gum problems, and so forth. Nicotine. What is the side? What does nicotine do? Now, nicotine is the addictive part of the shisha. You understand? So the nicotine is there to promote to bring about the addictive aspect. So the nicotine is what makes you get hooked to the hookah. You understand? And it can cause cardiovascular problems, including high blood pressure and high heart rate. And it can also cause narrowing of blood vessels. That's what nicotine does. That's what it does to us. So when you are smoking shisha, when you are taking in shisha, this is what you are exposing yourself to. Now, the glycerin is commonly used in tobacco products. The glycerin is commonly used in tobacco products and can be very harmful. It can cause different types of problems to us, which is it can cause it's a toxic substance. Let me put it that way. It's a toxic substance, and when taken in the body, it can cause a lot of problems, and lots of problems can be caused of because of the glycerin. So back to what shisha is. That's what shisha is mainly made up of. Now, how did Shisha get here? Due to its nature, due to how it is, and its appealing nature, it became accepted in social gatherings. Now, it's very alarming and very uncommon to walk into a pub, a restaurant, a bar, and you don't see shisha available. It's like that's the new vibe. It's even not common these days to go to events and you will not see a shisha stand or a shisha corner somewhere because it has become widely accepted because of the vibe it carries. It has become widely accepted. In 2018, the graphic online reported Shisha overtaking cigarette smoking among youth. Shisha overtook cigarette smoking among the youth, which means that Shisha has now come is now the main thing. Is now the main thing out there, and that people don't even want to smoke cigarettes anymore because of Shisha. And it has this deceptive look that is unharmful. But research has shown that taking in one puff of shisha is equivalent to smoking 100 sticks of cigarettes. Now, I barely know people who smoke 100 sticks of cigarettes, but what you may look at shisha and say it is harmless, it's very nice, it's more civilized, and it will shock you the number of corporate and highly educated people who get hooked with shisha because of its appealing nature. You understand? As I said earlier, it comes with a vibe. So when you like the vibe, you get hooked. So holding cigarette in public will be seen as it will be seen as some way. But when you are in the bar or you are at a restaurant and you with your colleagues and you're having shisha, it's seen as a vibe. So because of that, people don't find it as a problem to engage in, especially corporate people. You understand? So that is what shisha really looks like. And so as I said earlier, smoking one shisha or taking a puff of shisha is equivalent to smoking 100 sticks of cigarettes, and that is the damage it causes to us. So shisha is really, really, really um, 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 a virus. I call it the new virus that is plaguing our society these days. Shisha is like a virus now that is plaguing our society these days. So this is just my introduction part of what Shisha is and what it is made up of. And therefore, I would like to end here and for my colleagues to also take up and continue. Dr. Yanam, thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Yes, yes. Are you learning something? Those of us who thinks shisha is a milder form of cigarette. Today we are learning that you can actually take 100 sticks of cigarette from taking shisha. It is that bad. And you're not only taking just tobacco, you're not just taking nicotine, you're taking all the other things that come with it. A lot of other harmful chemicals. And it is worrying, ladies and gentlemen. It is worrying. And Mr. Solomon went on to tell us that it has a lot of health implications. It started talking about the oral, the mouth, the gums, staining our teeth, and all that. And so we want to delve deep into that. What are the health implications? Why are we talking about shisha smoking? Why are we saying that it is that bad? And so, to help us, we have a beautiful lady in the house. Our next speaker for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a project management professional as well as a dietetic student. She has great passion for public health advocacy, and that is why she's here today. She's honored to be part of this discussion and to shed light on the toxic effects of shisha smoking. She wants her message to go out there, encourage the youth to help reduce the spread and the prevalence of this canker among us, the youth, because Ghana's future is at stake. Africa's future is at stake. And so, without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, with a round of reactions to take us through the next presentation on the health effects of shisha smoking, let's welcome Miss Carol Adusei with a round of reactions. Woo! Wow! 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Enyonam. That was amazing. Thank you, Solomon. I enjoyed your presentation. It was a lot of knowledge there. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. It's such an honor to join us all this evening. I would like to thank the RTC group. This is a great platform. It's a great platform, and I pray and hope the messages we share goes out into the world, because Ghana needs a healthy nation. I am passionate about nutrition, so everything, any topic that comes around, I want to look at it from the nutrition perspective, because I believe whatever you are, what you eat, everything that goes into your body makes you, tends to define you. Whatever goes into your body shows on your body outward. So that's my belief. So I'll take it from here. I want to look at one myth that says that shisha is more natural or herbal. I don't know who came up with this, and I heard it in town, and I was shocked doing out my research. And I don't know what is about shisha that makes it natural, but considering the amount of chemicals that they use, the preservative in shisha, the charcoal, the burning from the charcoal into the tobacco, there's a chemical reaction that takes place, and it releases certain toxics. So that alone is harmful for the body. That alone is harmful for the body. It produces carcinogenic smoke. And I watched a video on YouTube, and someone was trying to explain the fact that when you take cigarettes and shisha, there's a difference, because they put what do you call it, cotton swabs into a glass jar, and they kind of fused the smoke from the shisha pipe into the glass jar and lighted a cigarette into the glass jar, trying to send certain information that cigarettes are more harmful than shisha. So then the cigarette jar became dark. It had the cotton becoming dark, and the shisha cotton was still looking white. But you see, the body is not like the cotton. The body is made up of cells. It has tissue, and God made the body in such a way that it needs to absorb nutrients for it to grow. I don't know the nutrients in shisha. From my research, there's no nutrients in shisha, so I don't know why they use that as an analog. 2023, Ghana Health Service made a fake, and it was I think, yes, they posted around 2023. They were having celebrating tobacco week or something. Yes, so they made a statement. They said the major cause of premature death in Ghana right now, which can be prevented, is the use of tobacco, especially shisha, which is causing cancer, cardiovascular diseases, stroke, hypertension. All these diseases are caused through the inhalation of shisha. And when you go through the streets of Accra, every pub, every joint, now I don't even know all the names, every bar, you see them, especially from 5 o'clock going, they start setting up. to entertain the youth, especially. And it's depressing. It's depressing. Some parts of Accra, I'm sure it will be one of the deprived areas. There was a shoot that was shared on social media where a mother was given her little son, I'm sure the boy will be around 3 years, shisha to smoke. And I'm wondering, you as an adult, the effect of shisha on your body, how much more a little one? So when your child starts having respiratory diseases, having difficulty with start turning having malnourished issues, you don't understand. But these are all effects. How does one feel when you even go past a burning atmosphere where there's fire is blazing, there's thick smoke coming out of it? Most people tend to cough. So if the body is not able to stand that and process that, how much more you being intentional about inhaling shisha into your body? So I was going to look at what shisha is made of, but Mr. Solomon has done that perfectly for me. So I would move on for us to look at the effects of shisha on our health, as I said earlier. So one effect is that it's an appetite suppressant. Someone who uses shisha often or even occasionally, because of the nicotine in the shisha, it tends to reduce that signal from the brain that the body feels hungry. That way, you tend to skip meals, you tend not to have a healthy diet, and this has increased the risk of one being under nutrition. You have a lot of deficiencies, especially with iron, vitamin B12, and zinc. And these deficiencies can lead to death in extreme cases. These deficiencies can lead to death. The use of shisha also impairs the absorption of nutrients, as I said earlier on. Carbon monoxide, which is a component in the nicotine when heat is applied, it reduces oxygen that is delivered to the body, which constricts your respiratory system to be able to take in oxygen that is needed for the normal function of the body. So we've already talked about poor oral health. It affects your ability to even absorb nutrients like protein, which the body really needs to grow and function properly. One major thing for me is it causes oxidative stress. So when we talk of oxidative stress, it's more of like the body releases oxidants that kind of fight the body. It fights the system. It releases free radicals that produces toxins, and they fight your system. When you eat, when you are not able to take in well-balanced meal, and you are lacking in nutrients, for instance, like vitamin C, vitamin E, beta carotene, yes, you tend to lack antioxidants that would help fight off infections, fight off diseases, and you tend to have a weaker immune system. There's always increase in inflammation in your body. Then you tend to start aging faster. So if we would look carefully, the youth now tend to look a bit more older than our parents or our grandparents, I'll go to the extreme, because they tend to abuse the body. They take in shisha, they're taking in alcohol, they're partying all night. Well, we can all party all night, but I mean, we should do everything in moderation. But for the shisha, no. Taking in something that does not provide any form of nutrient for the body is not a healthy way to go. So this is an illustration of a healthy lungs and an unhealthy one. This one depicts a smoker's lung. So I would say it says a smoker's lung, yes. But you know, when somebody lives in an environment where constantly there's car fume exhaust, there's burning going on, there's smoking, be it cigarettes, anything that produces fume or smoke. Shisha is also included. This eventually, you might think that, oh, I do it occasionally. It starts little by little, little by little. Then this is how the lungs end up. Then that leads to cardiovascular diseases and leads to death. So, as I have said earlier, these are diseases that the body goes through as a result of the use of shisha. Even when indirectly, when you find yourself in a company where constantly using shisha, you might just be an indirect user because they inhale it in and puff it out, and you be a secondary user. You might think, oh, I'm just in their company, I don't use it. You don't use it, but they are giving you the excess that is coming out of their system. So in effect, you are also using it. And I'm told the volume of smoke inhaled in an hour session is equal to smoking over 100 cigarette sticks. So if you say, okay, I do only 30 minutes per session, then you're doing probably, give or take, 50 pieces or 60 pieces of cigarettes in a sitting, which in effect is still not good. So as much as possible, we must try and advocate so that the youth especially, I don't know why the youth think it's fancy, but its repercussion is more and higher than it being fancy and you being seen using it. So I would end my presentation here. Thank you so much for the audience. Dr. Enyonam, thank you so much. I would hand over to you. Hello, Dr. Enyonam, please, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yes, so thank you
Okay,
so
okay.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, we have learnt a lot. I have particularly learnt a whole lot from you that, yes, shisha smoking reduces your appetite for food and then causes oxidative stress. And this stress also contributes to the fast aging we see in people who do it, who abuse these drugs. And so shisha is bad. You see, in medical school, or okay, well, during my studies, we have, like, when we want to mention risk factors or causes for almost every disease, we are going to say smoking, cancer, everything, chronic condition, heart disease or kidney disease or liver disease or infections. So once you are someone who smokes, everything some, you are getting it. And see, ladies and gentlemen, we are learning that 1 hour, just an hour, just one day, you alone, you have taken about 100 sticks of cigarettes. That is crazy, oh. It is very crazy. And I now, any amount of tobacco that you take in, is going to cause it harm. And so this is not for you to play with. Well, she also mentioned the part where you also have to look at your company, because you think that you're not the one smoking, but you go to the club with them, you go to the pub or the lounge with them, you all smoke, and then you just watch them and give them fans. You there, you don't smoke some. Please, you are also smoking some. You are also smoking some, because when they inhale and exhale, you also inhale some. And so watch your friends as well. That's why from here we have to now go and become ambassadors. Talk to them. It is bad. It is very bad, extremely bad. There is taking overdose of poison. It is that bad. And so want to move on. Want to move on and talk about addiction, because it is why people go in and out. People find it very difficult to stop this thing because of what we call addiction. And so we have our very final speaker for tonight doing us the honors of talking to us about what shisha addiction is. Where can they go for help? Who can they talk to? What at all is it? And for us who have friends, how can we help them? How can we even know that they have this addiction? Our final presenter for tonight is a passionate and dedicated registered nurse. She has a hands-on experience from working in major hospitals during her clinical period. She has developed very strong competencies in clinical nursing, in public health, as well as health advocacy beyond the bedside. Her work blends compassion, creativity, and community focus to empower individuals with accurate information, particularly through digital content. Exactly why she's here today. She's passionate about volunteering in menstrual hygiene initiatives, youth empowerment, and patient-centered care projects across communities. Her goal is to be a mentor and a servant leader in healthcare, bridging the gap between communities and saving lives through knowledge. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, and with a round of reactions, I want us to invite Miss Elizabeth Karikari to the podium, our virtual podium, to enlighten us on what shisha addiction is. Thank you very much.
Hi, Dr. Enyonam. Thank you very much. I love the introduction. And I would also want to thank Adusei and Dr. Benedicta for giving me this platform with my speakers to share on the dangers of shisha. So far, my fellows about shisha, its components, and its health risks. And what I remember from Dr. Carol is that don't be a secondary smoker. So a secondary smoker is someone who is smoking but unfortunately, I have to tell you that you are joining in the smoking. And before I get to addiction, I want to make mention of one harmful chemical that is also in the component of shisha. That's the carbon monoxide. So we know that in getting shisha, there is coal. So the coal is burnt. That's what heats the molasses for it to turn into the smoke or the cloud for us to puff it out. So now we know that when we are burning anything, when you are burning charcoal, anything that is being burnt is being turned into what? Carbon monoxide. And I used to remember this from school, carbon monoxide. That was one of the chemicals I really loved because I knew that carbon monoxide was from the fumes of car. So let's look at this analogy. If you wouldn't want to go and sit behind a car, a moving car, and inhale its smoke, even if you should just see a car passing by with this huge thick smoke from the back of it, we get so furious and sometimes we tend to insult the drivers. Now that is the same thing we are using as fun. So we are going to these lounges, we are going to parties, and we are taking in shisha. That's what the same thing as carbon monoxide. So taking in shisha is just like taking in the fumes from a car. So I hope we take this and put it at the back of our minds that smoking shisha does a lot of harm than good to us. Now let's look at the signs of shisha addiction. There is something we call nicotine that is also made up in shisha. I think Solomon had a touch of it. Now, nicotine is a substance that is found in this shisha that we are talking about. And nicotine is an addictive substance, which is mostly found in tobacco products. Now, somebody will say, oh, I just tried it once and that's all. If I just smoke shisha today, that's it, I won't smoke it again. It's a lie. And what makes this a lie is that nicotine has a substance in it called dopamine. So mostly we hear these people saying, I'm high, I'm out of the clouds, I'm in the blue. Like they are everywhere. They just feel that erotic emotion, that high feeling, that what you're in a good mood. That's what nicotine does to you. So when you smoke shisha, it gives you that erotic mood. It gives you that good mood. And you always want to what? Draw back to it. So drawing back to it is what causes the addiction. So now we call something craving. So craving for it regularly. You smoke the shisha once, you went for a party, wherever you went to, you just saw shisha, it's like, oh, it has a nice smell. Let me try it out. Then you try to, like, oh, just one day something, I'm not going to do that again. And now you have the smell, the apple flavor, the strawberry flavor, and now the nicotine is adding up and like, I want to try this again. And you call on your friends, can we do this again? Now, when you start craving for it, know that there's a tendency of you what getting addicted to shisha. The other thing is that when you're unable to stop, now you've craved from it. From craving, you move on to the next step. You crave for it and you tried it once. You tried it for the second time. You tried it for the third time. And you're like, oh no, this is not me. This is not Adra. So I would want to stop. I can't move on with this. But it seems that whenever you try to stop, you can't. It's also a sign of what? Addiction. You are getting drawn to it. And trying to stop, there's something we call the withdrawal syndrome. So withdrawal syndrome is this feeling that you get from trying to stop using a substance. So there's the physical symptoms and there's the psychological symptoms. So sometimes you feel that you have this extreme headache, you have this muscle pain, there is nausea, you feel like vomiting, you are so uneasy, you are feeling anxious, confusion, you are depressed, you are withdrawn. All these are signs of what? Withdrawal symptoms. Because the body has somehow, one way or the other, gotten used to this what? Narcotic in your body. Withdrawing from it becomes a bit difficult. So when you try to withdraw from it, then all these symptoms come in. Until you get what you are looking for, until you get that shisha, you will never be okay. So this is what addiction also does to us. Then also leads to um withdrawing from responsibilities. So it's not now you become so drawn to the shisha that you overlook responsibilities. On a Friday, you know that, oh, I go to work Monday to Friday. From Friday, these are what I want to do. But now every Friday it has become a usual thing. You have to go to the bar, you have to go to the lounge, you have to go to that party. You are looking for that particular place that you find shisha. If there's no shisha, you are not going. And someone will go to the extreme of what? Buying it into their own house to rather invite friends and smoke it. So now things that you have to do, you are not doing them and you are dependent on the shisha. You have things to do. You say, oh, let me just smoke shisha for an hour, just for 30 minutes. And by the time you realize your whole room is filled with smoke, you are spending several hours just on this shisha, ignoring the things that you have to do. There's also the social and health risk. Dr. Carol touched on the health risk. We tend to get withdrawn because sometimes depression sets in. Taking these narcotics also has an effect to the brain. So whatever you take, as far as it's into the bloodstream, our blood flows from our head to our toe. So it flows into our brain, to our heart, everywhere. So you kind of feel withdrawn instead of gathering with families and friends. You are just looking out for wherever you find shisha. So if you see yourself going through any of these things, know that the addiction to shisha is calling you. Shisha is now becoming your friend. Water pipe is now becoming your best friend. So if you don't want water pipe or shisha or hookah to become your best friend, and you see these signs, know that you are gradually being addicted to it. Now, dealing with shisha, how do we deal with this shisha? You have to seek help. This is something you cannot do on your own. You have to seek help, professional help. So you can go to the mental hospital. Right now, when I say mental hospital, I know that somebody will say, hey, mental hospital, I'm not mad. Sorry to use the word. We don't say mad, but I say what? Mentally disabled. But to make you understand, somebody will say, I'm not mad to go to what? The mental hospital. What am I going to do there? Mental hospital is not meant for people who are just what? Mentally disabled. They have the addiction team there who would help you through what? Addiction and everything. There are support group there. We find rehabs in the mental hospital. You find a psychologist in the mental hospital. So please, let's make the mental hospitals our friend. We are not mentally disabled. We are not mad. We are going to seek help. The better you seek for help, the earlier. And also, there's the replace habit with healthier alternatives. Now, if you want to smoke, right, if you want to take this puff and you are not getting it, what alternative can you use? You can have accountability partner. You can have friends. You can talk to friends. People that you know that what when you talk to them, they won't condemn you. So when you feel like smoking or puffing this shit, I can just call a friend. Oh, I have this edge. Can you come over? Can we go to places? So you have to avoid these places that will do what? Will be calling you saying that come and let's have. You have to avoid those places. If a friend's place, if it's a land, if it's a bar, whichever place, when you see that place, I beg you close your eyes. Just close your eyes and pass by. Okay, and use healthier alternatives instead of smoking. If it's for that nice scented smell you want, if it's for the apple flavor or the strawberry flavor that you want, please go and buy nice scented spray and spray it in your room. It's equivalent to it because most of us are drawn because of the scent. It smells nice. Please just get that nice scented spray and spray it in your room. You get the equal scent and you are good to go. Now educate yourself on the harms. So this is the education that we are doing now. From here, if you thought shisha was healthy, if you thought shisha was just for fun, or water pipe It's just something that you just pop and you don't get anything out of it. I'm reminding you that it is harmful. It causes cardiovascular diseases, respiratory diseases, oral diseases, and the long run causing cancer because there are carcinogens in it. So just look at all these health risks that you are pulling to yourself without what? Doing anything. Somebody will say, oh, I just smoke this once and that's all. And develop a quick plan and stick to it. It's not easy. When you start and you're trying to withdraw from it, the truth is that it's not easy. But with being consistent, being true to yourself, if you really want to stop it, you will stop it. Because know that if you don't stop it, you are getting cancer. If you don't stop it, you are getting that lung disease. If you don't stop it, you are getting BP. Now, young people are drawn to getting BP. BP was a sickness for the aged during the times of our forefathers, our elderly people. But now you see most young people getting BP, not because of anything, but because of we are exposed to all this risk. So if you don't want to be that next person getting BP, if you don't want to be that next person getting that cardiovascular disease, if you don't want to be that next person getting that cancer, I want you to use that love emoji for us telling ourselves that we are not going to do any shisha. We are staying healthy, we are living healthy, and we are staying pure. Because in years to come, you'll be visiting the doctor. And we at the hospital will be glad to receive you. Because that's where we get our money from. So we'll be glad to receive you. But although we'll be glad to receive you at the hospital, we'll also be glad for you to stay healthy. Because we believe in primary care. We believe that health starts from your home. We believe that health starts from you. So if you don't want us to receive you at the hospital, for you to use that your hard-earned money just for us to use to feed on, then please avoid shisha and take good care of yourself. Before we move, I want you to remember that 1 hour of what? Smoking shisha is equivalent to what? 100 sticks of cigarette. 1 hour, just an hour, is equivalent to what? 100 sticks of cigarette. So if you don't want to take that cigarette and you think shisha is safe, please, you and those smoking, you are the same. Someone will also say what? It's harmless and it's social. Yes, before I leave, I want us to remember this, that it's illegal. I think Dr. Benedicta made mention of that in her post. It is illegal. The FDA has approved that what shisha is illegal. So the next time you are going, bear it in mind that when you are caught, maybe you'll be fined for it. So you have to stay safe. Don't do anything that will compromise your health. Be informed, make the right choices, and live healthy. Thank you.
Oh, oh, hey, please clap. I want a round of reactions. I didn't even know what to say because I was lost for words. Wow. 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 Please, if you are not learning anything, I don't know what you are doing. Yes, people are learning and I am learning. There's this thing. This 1 hour is to 100 sticks of cigarette. I want to bring it to home. I want to bring it home a bit. One box of cigarettes, okay, the small box that they use, it contains 20 sticks, okay. And so it means that just 1 hour, only you've taken 5 whole packs of cigarettes. Hey, it is crazy. And if you're not only taking cigarettes, oh, you have added advantage with shisha. Carbon monoxide is there. You are just mixing it with some air freshness and then sitting, it's like just sitting at the back of the exhaust pipe of a car. People, it is bad. People, it is deadly. And see, if we don't stop, we the health workers, we are becoming millionaires. So, but we don't want that, because your hard-earned money is what you are going to use to treat these conditions, and they keep increasing every day. Keep increasing every day. I am a climate change activist, and I'll tell you that the climate change alone is bringing its own disadvantages. And now you want to sit and then just take in an overdose of poison. Ladies and gentlemen, no, no. And so tonight, we are all making that pledge that we want to become advocates preaching that shisha is bad, shisha is deadly, shisha is illegal, and smoking shisha must be stopped. Yes, it must be stopped. And so, thank you, all my amazing speakers, Mr. Solomon, Miss Carol, and Miss Elizabeth. You all have done amazingly well. You have done amazingly well. So now it's time for questions and answers. It's time for questions and answers. I'm sure a lot of us have heard a lot of stories. Maybe you have this misconception that you want us to clear for you. We are here. Our seasoned speakers are ready to digest it for you. And so if you have any questions, you can either put it in the chat box or raise your hand. I will call you to that effect. Yes, please. So I see Eric maintain Mr. Eric, sorry, I have some difficulties mentioning your name. But Mr. Eric, you can unmute and then ask your question. Thank you. And then I see Thomas, Kofi, and Anan as well. So yeah. Yes, please, Mr. Eric. Kindly unmute and then ask your question. So while we are waiting for Mr. Eric, maybe he has some network issues. I'd like to call on Mr. Thomas Kofi Annan, to kindly unmute and ask his question. And then,
Hello, good evening
yes,
to
please.
all.
Hello, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, thanks very much to all the speakers. I really liked basically everything that's been shared with us. And I must say, they've done well. They've done a human job. May God bless them and then give them the strength to continue learning and be teaching us for this. I have one, let's say one peculiar thing that I need to talk about. We are talking about the illegality of Shisha in Ghana. Yes, though I'm not in Ghana currently, but whenever I come to Ghana, not even when I come to Ghana, we know a lot of shops that are trading Shisha, of which it is illegal. One, is it that the Food and Drugs Authority have left them just to do anything that they want to do, or they've gone for legal documents behind what they are doing? I want to understand this.
Okay, so Dr. Enyonam, I want to take a touch on this. Thank you, Sir Thomas, for your question. So yes, Shisha is illegal in Ghana by the FDA. But doing my research, they made mention that although it's illegal, for it to be used, you would have to come for a permit from there, which is contradicting. Because something which is illegal, I don't know why a permit should be given for it to be used also. And I also believe that in our country, Ghana, here, we have a very big gap in our legal issues. So although they raised the ban on smoking shisha, I don't think there's anything peculiar that they've done to it. So this is a concern, and we hope that our voices will go far and that the government and FDA can do something about this. I hope this helps.
Yes,
All right.
please. Thank you so much. Yes. Mr. Solomon would also want to add his voice.
Yes, thank you for the question. So, just as marijuana or weed is illegal in Ghana, even though some parts of I think some parts of America and some places is legal. In Ghana, marijuana or weed, as we know it, is illegal. Same as shisha, it's illegal. But as you know, there are places where you can go and get marijuana to smoke. I mean, there are pubs and then there are places, joints. I mean, places that you can go and it's seen in the open. People even do videos and things, and it's in the open. But yet still, as Elizabeth said, our legal system has a huge gap, and because of that, it makes it difficult for us for these things to be handled. Just like you are saying, you said the thing is illegal. How do you now say that they should come for permits to use it? So this is where we come in as health educators and advocates. So this also gives a big shout out to RTC and the team for putting this together. Our aim is to publicize this, make the noise as loud as we can. We should loud it everywhere. This is the only way this awareness can be created, and then perhaps, or I mean, if we are lucky, it gets to the right ears, and then legal implementations will be made. So for now it's still illegal, but as you know, people still have their way out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Even though it is illegal, people still use it. And it behoves on us because people go for it. People are into its business because they have customers. They have customers. And so if we are able to reduce their customer base, then they wouldn't have any business. It's not like we want to push people out of business, but it is dangerous. It is poisonous. And so we have to send our voice out there, make it loud. All of us here, the over 30 of us here, we become ambassadors. Spread the word, share it with our friends and colleagues that shisha is that bad. It is even worse off than just smoking cigarettes. And so this is to us. We are now becoming ambassadors for against shisha smoking. Yes, and so Mr. Eric, I don't know whether you are ready now. You can now ask your question. Yeah, hello, Mr. Eric. Okay, I'm not getting anything. Okay, so any any more questions for our speakers for tonight before I take final? Okay, I see Mary Obo. Yes, Miss Mary. Kindly unmute and then ask your question. Please, if you've asked your question, please put down your hand so that I can see those who have raised their hands and see them. Thank you. So, Miss Mary, take us away.
Thank you, Doctor. My question is with regards to, I think, the last session. Um, the presenter made a statement I found really interesting, and I decided to probe. She said something about using sweet scented, should I say, perfumes, if people are just after the sweetness of the sweet smelling part of the shisha movement. If that's what people are after, they can actually adjust it and go in for sweet scented perfumes. And I was thinking, since I'm not a medic, but I perceive that maybe a continued usage, assuming the person decides to make that adjustment, the continued usage of this sweet scented perfume, wouldn't that also um, bring in another health repercussions? Is I have That's my question. Thank you.
All right, Mary, thank you for your question. Okay, so we are talking about putting away with shisha. So, with a sweet scented perfume or spray, it's not something you should do every day. Now, we're just using that as an analogy because if you would say you are taking in shisha not because of the smoke, but because of the scent, why don't you use another method? So before you can switch to something, I talked about the withdrawal syndrome. And one way of the withdrawal syndrome is that what can we put in place of this thing that you are doing before you can what? Totally move out of it. So if you are taking the shisha because you are smoking it because you say you just want the smell and not because of the smoke and you don't want all those harm to be caused. But now you are being drawn to it, you are being addicted to it. How can you move away from it? Because now you are moving away from it and withdrawal symptoms are setting in. Then why don't you replace it with something? Not for the longer term, but for a short while. So if it's just sweet scent that is just drawing you in, at least not too much, because I remember in school we did this diffusion and osmosis. So you just spray it at a certain part of your, and I know that most of us use this in our homes, this sweet scented sprays and all that. So you can just use it for the short time before you are what totally withdrawn from smoking shisha. Is that okay?
Yes, please. I guess so.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So obviously, the sweet scented spray is a better option as compared to shisha. And I personally think that those small quantities are not as harmful or are maybe minimally harmful to the person as compared to taking about 100 sticks of shisha. And so it's obviously a better option. It's obviously a better option when you are talking about withdrawal from shisha smoking and addiction. So, yes, Dr. Benedicta. Amazing. Don't withdraw alone. Don't withdraw alone. Yes, you can come to the hospital. We will help you. Have the doctors that are trained to help you. And so don't do it on your own. It can be very difficult. Come and seek help. Yes, I thought I saw a hand up. Again, our time is catching up with us quickly. Okay, so just 30 seconds. I want to have the final words from our speakers for tonight. So first, in that order, Mr. Solomon, Miss Carol, and then Miss Elizabeth, your final words in 30 seconds, and then we bring our meeting to a close.
Okay. So final words. As I said, it's a new vibe in town. I mean, as someone say, you they feel the vibe, and I'll tell you, I they feel the vibe. It's the same way when you are in a company of friends who are involved in these things, you will definitely get hooked. The word is called hook. Is it? I don't know who coined that word. The hookah. It's like you get hooked to it. It's just like the way a fish get hooked into the hook. It's the same way you get hooked to it. You understand? So one thing I can say is that be careful with your associations and be careful with people you mingle with. As the saying goes, show me your friend and I'll show you your character. If you don't want to get yourself into this addictive behavior, then choose your friends and your acquaintances wisely, and it will go a long way to help you. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Choose your friends wisely. Miss Carol, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. So my final words will be just to reiterate. Remember that occasional shisha, it has the same threshold as someone who is fully hooked on shisha. The toxic heavy metals in it are the same thing, the same experience you get whether you are a secondary user or a primary user. So please, it accumulates slowly and silently. You might not see the effect immediately, but gradually over a period of time, the effect starts showing with little illnesses, and then boom, the bigger one comes, and we are at your funeral crying, and after we'll jam. Don't forget, if you go, people will still jam. Life will still go on. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Remember, if you don't stop, if you go, we'll still jam. We'll still jam. Yes. And so, final words from Miss Elizabeth. Let's hear you.
Right, thank you, Dr. Enyonam. So my last words to all of us is that water doesn't purify shisha. Please, the water in the shisha, it doesn't purify it. It doesn't take away the narcotics. It doesn't take away all those harmful or toxic substances. It's just a way of letting you be able to have your cloud or your puff out. Also, I would like to say that don't try or think of going to smoke it for once. If you've not done it before, let those doing it find their way out or help them find their way out. We are doing this education to help you not to go into it, not to help you to try it. Because when you try it, you will get addicted to it. Also, remember to seek for help, have support groups, have accountability partners, and health professionals are always your friend. To be healthy, it starts from you, and to be healthy, it starts from your home. Thank you, Dr. Enyonam. Thank you, Dr. Benedicta. Thank you, all my audiences, and thank you, RTC Foundation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. A round of reaction, guys. These our speakers are amazing. Wow. 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 Yes. And I also like to give my final words. It's just this thing that I've coined that trendy is not always healthy. Trendy is not always healthy. And so we are going out there becoming ambassadors. I started with this. It is for us to share. Oh. Don't keep it in your pocket. Don't keep it in your pocket at all. Share with a friend in your conversation. Talk to them. It is that bad. 100 sticks of cigarettes in 1 hour. It is that bad. It is like sitting at the back of a car for a whole hour and inhaling, putting your nose directly at where the exhaust pipe is. It is that bad. It will cause a lot of harms, cancers, diseases, your whole body. You start looking as an old man or as an old woman. Please, don't even try it. Not even once. Don't be around them. Avoid them. And encourage them if you know someone. Encourage them to stop. Encourage them to see health professionals and seek help. Remember, trendy is not always healthy. And so, this has been an amazing time with you all. We have learned about getting hooked on the hookah. We know all the dangers, and we know that shisha is bad. We should avoid it. It is poison. Should avoid it. We are going out there, becoming ambassadors, spreading the good news, and reducing the demand that even though it is illegal and it is not being enforced, we can still preserve the future of Ghana. We can still preserve the future of Africa. And so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining and have a wonderful evening. Bye.